John Wooden once said, don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. You may get blank in some question in the examination when you're doing math, but fret not, there are questions that you don't get blank, correct? And that's why we are here to help you not get blank on hard question. 正好, teacher of today will be showing you how you can do this question easily, fast, and well. Over to you.
Okay, so today we are going to look at a similar triangle kind of question. So over here in this diagram, ABCD is a square and EFGD is a rectangle. What we want to show is that angle ADE is equal to angle CDG without proving that triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDG. Part B, we want to prove that triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDG. That's why they ask you not to prove it first. And part C, we want to show that EFGD is a square. Okay, so this question is contributed by Guy Acing's O-level E-Math paper in 2019. Okay, so I'll give you a few minutes to do this question. As usual, I'll be providing 3 hints. So hint number 1. What? So let's say part A first. Hint for part A, show that ADE is equals to angle CDG. We need to look at the properties of a square. Part B, when we want to prove congruence, we need to recall the proving techniques. Is it SAS or is it AAS or is it SA? Yeah. So part C, we need to recall properties of a square also. Come, let's take 5 minutes. Okay, so since we have looked at this question, we have done this question. So let's go through the answers. So for part A, we want to show that angle ADE is equal to angle CDG. How do we do it? Let's try to look at the diagram in detail. So over here, let's draw the right angles. Okay, so these are the right angles in the question. We want to show that angle ADE is equals to angle CDG. So let's try substituting angle ADE equals to x. So if ADE is equals to x, that means this guy is equals to x. How can we get, so we need to show that this guy is x too. So how do we do this? Actually, it's very simple. You can see that EDG is 90 degrees. So that means that angle ADG is equals to 90 minus x. And also, since we know that ADG is 90 minus x, how do we find CDG? Well, CDG is simply also 90 minus 90 minus x degrees, which is equals to x. Okay? How did the 90 come about over here? This 90 is because ABC is 90 degrees as well. So if this is 90 and this is 90 minus x, that means CDG is x. Part B, prove that triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDG. Let me just add one more line over here. Proven. Okay, so we're going to prove that triangle ADE is congruent to triangle CDG. So, how to prove? Now we have to recall these three three properties of three possible configurations of a congruent pair of triangles. So let's look at. I'm just going to replicate like part of the diagram over here. Okay, so we just proved that this is x and this is x, and this is a right angle, this is a right angle. Of course, they look very similar, but how to prove? Okay, since we know that this is x, this is 90, that means we have all the angles within this triangle. We have all the angles. We have this, we have this, we have this. This is 90 minus x, and this is 90 minus x. Okay, so let's write all of these angles down first. So from part A, we know that angle ADE, so ADE is equals to CDG. That's one thing. So from part A. Now, there's one reason. Okay, remember to write the reasons down. And part B is that angle DAE is equals to angle DCG equals to 90 degrees. Why? Because both of them are right angles given. Because they are squares. Okay, and now we got two angles, angle. So what we look at is this angle and this angle. Maybe let's just look at a side because a side is an important property of a congruent triangle. Okay, let's just try and find a side. Because so one side you might look at is ED and DG, but we actually cannot prove that these two are equal. Why? Because EFGD is a rectangle, it's not a square. So we need to find a square. So the only square that we can find is actually AD and DC. So ADCB or ABCD is the only square that we can rely on. So maybe this one is equals to this one, right? Because this is a square. So AD is equals to CD because ABCD is a square. All right. Okay. I want to make a correction over here. They are just given. Okay, so it's not because they are a square. And since we have an A, we have an S, we'll therefore look at this this property over here of these two triangles. And therefore, by AAS, angle, side. Angle, side angle. By angle, side angle, we have angle, side angle. We have a triangle ADE is equivalent to triangle CDG. Okay, so by ASA. So sorry, this one was not inside the hint. Okay, so part C, hence show that EFGD is a square. So now we want to look at this quadrilateral over here, this rectangle over here. EFGD is a square. So how do we show that this is a square? So we already got EAD and triangle ADE is congruent to CDG. So what do? Is that we look at, because these two are perfectly identical triangles, they just rotated. So that means that we can always say that ED is equal to DG because they are congruent triangles. Because ADE is congruent to triangle CDG. And therefore, since ED is equal to DG, we can say that, so this is not enough to prove that it's a square. Now ED equal DG is only sufficient to show that these two are equal, but we need to show they have right angles as well. Okay, so and combine the fact, so we need to combine this fact with the fact that DEFG is a rectangle. Rectangle means what? All sides are right angles. Okay? We have EFGD is a square. Okay? And therefore, we are done with this question. So what we have done is to look at the properties of a square, and we have to recall the properties of a square in order to prove part C, and we have to recall all the proving techniques of similar and congruent triangles. So if you see this question, don't get blank.
Yeah, don't get blank. Yes. Always remember what John Wooden have said. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. With that, thank you so much for watching this video, this episode of HOM, where we will help you hack O-levels math. Comment down in the section below any question you have, and we will feature your question and answer your question in the following video. We will see you in the next one. Cheers.